Okay, ready? Conspiracy brain. I think the Steven Crowder thing, I think it is a Daily Wire hit piece. I think it was somebody from them that sent that material to that Yar whatever person. I think it was. That's my conspiratorial mindset right now. I think that's what happened, but we'll see. Okay. Anyway, here we go.
Talk about Steven Crowder. A lot of you guys have probably seen his live stream this morning where he brings me up. So we're going to have to respond to that, obviously, because he makes some pretty heavy implications and insinuations in his video that are so patently false that it's shocking to me that a man with his following would be stupid enough to put this onto a platform. So let's first back this up in case you don't know.
Can somebody give me the history? Why does she fucking hate Steven Crowder? Because she hates him. Did you see the write of that article follow you today? Oh, awkward. She's an opportunist. It feels like it's personal. It feels like something happened. Or she.
You know who Steven Crowder is? It's totally plausible. He sort of lives on the internet. Steven Crowder is
like
somebody who has a show called Louder with Crowder, who had something very terrible happen to him at the end of last year. The Daily Wire came to him with a $50 million term sheet. He was offered $50 million. I know, horrible, terrible. He was so upset by this that he then decided to do a video in which he calls out essentially all of the Daily Wire hosts, myself included, for accepting slave-like contracts. These were the very heavy implications of that video, that his followers needed to stop Big Con, talking about how we are all existing and we're kowtowing. And of course, we responded forcefully to this because it's simply not true. The idea that I'm somehow in bed with big tech or that I'm dishonest in what I do simply because we didn't accept, I guess, his counter offer to the $50 million contract is pointedly ridiculous. Now, why are we talking about him again? Well, in closing back in January, I essentially said that we were no longer going to talk about Steven Crowder, and I instead offered that people should pray for him because obviously, when a man does something like that, he is broken. You don't do something like that to your friends unless there is something going on in your personal life.
Oof. I see my theory is very true that the attacks from your own side have got to be so much worse. Like, if you're Steven Crowder and people like me are saying, like, oh, he's racist, he's sexist, he's blah, blah, blah. Like, who the fuck cares? Steven Crowder hates me. He knows I hate him. But hearing, like, Candace being like, this is a broken man. His spirit is void. His, like it's just got to be like, oof. It's just way more, like, conservative, you know?
Well, Steven Crowder announced this morning that he is going through a divorce, and I want to show you bits of that video. Take a listen.
Bro, oh, from his video, okay, never mind.
But needed to take a moment here to address some issues out there that are circulating. It's never fun, but well, I guess let me be clear here. I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice.
I like how mad he is that one person can choose to get divorced. Like, I should be able to keep my wife locked up here forever. He's very fixated on that point. Jesus.
Okay, so in the open, you get it. Steven Crowder is a victim. Once again, he's always a martyr for his belief. He's always a victim. And this time, it's a proverbial boot on the neck. He's literally George Floyd. So the idea here is you need to feel really bad for Steven Crowder right away because he's got a boot on his neck. Let's see what else he said.
So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Steven has a lot going on. I guess is the best way to say
there's
it.
our girl,
going on, and that
Candy.
should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on.
That's not racist anyway, right? Is it?
In their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Steven purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, something should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
That actually, now looking back on everything, that kind of is a threat. She is super threatening that there, right? I hate Crowder, and I think that he overplayed his Daily Wire hand like a fucking piece of shit. I mean, I guess it's all business or whatever, but she is threatening him there, right? If I feel like the public needs to know, why the fuck would the public need to know anything about his divorce? That is kind of weird.
Oh, my children have a right to privacy. Now,
What are you typing? Sorry, Crowder messages me sometimes because he's telling me, because I get paid like a lot from the Louder with Crowder mug club. There's a percentage that goes to me as long as I do PR for him. That's why I'm like excusing all the abuse and everything according to my subreddit. So, you know.
some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
So much that I want to say here. First and foremost, if you're a person that watches his show, how do you not see that he is so obviously acting and that he is a very bad actor? Do you feel bad for him when he says that? When he says, if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, well, if you are familiar with the idea of extortion, you should realize that that video that he just showed of me wasn't that. Nobody threatened him. Nobody made demands behind closed doors. His insinuation that I knew about his divorce before he decided to attack the Daily Wire is a pointed lie. Let me tell you what
Yeah, I'm curious what her explanation is, because now when I listen to it, now again seeing the divorce and everything that's come out and all the new information and everything, it kind of does feel like when she's, because I'm trying to think what could she possibly say right now, unless she might be talking about other contract negotiations. When she says there are things that the public needs to know, like it feels like you're just threatening somebody, right? Sorry, Jesus, so many things going on today.
actually went on behind the scenes. Steven Crowder on election night was our friend. He was on the backstage with all of us, laughing, having a great time. He even sent me a retrospectively very flirty message thereafter on Instagram about how nice I looked on election night, even though I didn't respond to it. Thereafter, obviously, he attacked the Daily Wire. He decided to record his friend, Jeremy Boring, and to release the recording out of context to make it seem like Jeremy Boring knows that he's employing all of us like we're slaves, right? This is what Steven Crowder did. We had a right to respond forcefully to all of his claims. We all did that on our different platforms. And then I said to myself, just sitting there one day, why is he doing this? It's a very simple question and an obvious question that any person would ask. This is not normal behavior. It's very erratic to go from being friends with somebody, being with them on election night, laughing, having a great time, to suddenly wanting to ruin their entire company and launching Stop Big Con. It's bizarre behavior. I turned to my husband and I said, where's his wife in all of this? Isn't she so supposedly a Christian?
What?
I'm just thinking about the way that I talk about everything in my life with my husband. Every night I'm talking to him about what...
It's so funny listening like in on this because like this line probably plays well, I guess, with conservatives, because they're like, yeah, your wife you would talk to about, but like, it's so obviously like that's such a stupid bullshit thing. Like, what?
What's going on at work? I thought to myself, where is Hillary Crowder in all of this? How did she not tell him not to do something this vicious and this disgusting? And then I said to my husband, I bet they're not even together. I logged on to Instagram and I found Hillary Crowder's Instagram account, and I looked to see, and it turned out that she didn't follow Steven Crowder and that Steven Crowder didn't follow her. He didn't follow anybody in her family.
No shot. I don't believe it. I see this type of stuff go on all the time behind the scenes with streamers of who's following who and all this shit. I watched this stream unfold a million times. Bullshit. Did like, oh, well, after a night of him, an election night, I noticed that he was lacking guidance from his wife, so we decided to check it. Bullshit. I bet there was a ton of talk behind the scenes about them having trouble. I bet there was a ton of talk, and that's why they knew that people had like unfollowed and everything. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, guaranteed, guaranteed.
Family, and she wasn't following anybody in his family. That was my aha moment. Clearly, there was some sort of a separation. Now, this might sound like crazy CIA stuff, woman stuff. It's exactly what happened. I then spoke to Jeremy at the Daily Wire, and I said, do you think that him and his wife were potentially separated? And he said, no, 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 no. Obviously, it's his friend. He would have known whether or not they were separated, except he didn't. He actually had no idea if they were separated either. Finally, we decided in conclusion, Jeremy advised, that we just stay out of it, that this is actually not our business, but at least it actually felt good to learn that he was going through something privately, because it assigned some reason for something that he did that was so horrific and so irrational to his friends. And finally, we said, okay, this is a broken man. This is what I was thinking. This is a broken man who is on some sort of a spiral. It is likely his divorce that led to this moment. He's acting erratic, he's acting panicked, and this at least gives us some sort of an excuse for why he behaved this way. That's it. That's the big scary story. I then went onto my platform and I said, pray for Steven Crowder, honestly, because that's what he needs. He needs a prayer. And apparently, nobody's answering those prayers right now because he's still acting erratic. He's now upping the ante and suggesting that I extorted him. I will not take that lightly, okay? I am not Hillary Crowder. I am not anybody in his family. I am not going to take somebody going onto his platform and alleging that I either harassed, threatened, or did anything that would put his children at risk. That is very serious stuff that he is saying. And so what I did this morning after this clip was sent to me is I contacted a defamation lawyer, and I am sending Steven Crowder a cease and desist. And I'm going to demand a full-throated retraction to the idea that Candace Owens threatened him or extorted him. And not that I simply did a little math. 1 + 1 = 2. A crazy man doing these sorts of things to his friends obviously means that something is going on personally. Honestly, this time, I'm not even going to suggest that anybody should pray for him. I am so deeply troubled by the idea.
Guys, we've gotten to the point to where we're withholding prayers, okay? Now you know it's serious. Gee, conservatives are a fucking trip, dude.
That he is trying to insert me into this narrative pertaining to his divorce. I'm frankly angry about this. So I'm going to hope that he does the right thing, okay? That he does another one of his live feeds on the exact same platform and via the exact same medium and offers me an apology and takes back every single word that he says. And, by the way, if you think that that's bad, here's how he decided to end this clip pertaining to his divorce.
Tell us.
It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own.
Oh, you know what? Oh man, my subreddit is gonna get triggered for me running defense for Steven Crowder. You know one thing that could be at play here? It's possible, or this could not be it at all. But like him saying that it's her choice on her own, at the very least, rather than it's like, because one way to read that is like, oh, he's like some crazy manipulative, evil piece of shit that's like doesn't want her to have agency or whatever. However, another reading of that could just be that like they're announcing a divorce. He knows it's gonna happen. There's nothing he can do to get away from it. Well, listen. I'm a Christian man. I would never get divorced. It was all her choice. I would never, ever, ever divorce my wife while we have kids, etc. Right? That it could be like his way of trying to save face publicly, maybe. Are they mad that you're defending Steven Crowder or mad at how you're defending it? No, it's just because of Steven Crowder. That's the only reason people care. Who am I subreddit?
In that I picked wrong.
I picked wrong. Wow. How kind, how loving. You really must have loved this woman, Steven Crowder. Again, I don't know who's buying your act anymore. I certainly haven't bought it from the very beginning. It's very obvious to me exactly what you are. You come across to me as a very dishonest individual. It seems to me, Steven, that you really, for whatever reason, want to insert me into this narrative. Like there is just something about me that you are hyper-focused on. And so I want to help you a bit. And really, I want to help your wife because you essentially just used your platform. Millions of people have access to your platform. She doesn't have the same, to insult her. You picked the wrong woman, okay? So here's what I would like to do. I would like to invite Hillary Crowder onto my platform because she doesn't have one.
Oh, would she accept? If she invites her and she accepts, I'm raising my Bayesian, okay? I'm raising this to like 85% that article that was posted was a setup from the Daily Wire. If there's an episode, actually, maybe 90%. If there's an episode with Candace Owens and Crowder's wife, the whole thing was a setup. 100%. If the fact that she even says it is like bolstering my prior so much. Jesus.
And because her ex-husband apparently just used his to insult her, say that he picked the wrong woman. I find that to be really despicable. So Hillary Crowder, if you are watching, you are more than welcome to come on my show and to talk about what's actually going on. Because as I said, I don't trust a single word that comes out of Steven's mouth.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. So you can go ahead and click the link in the description and subscribe right now.
Holy shit. This would be some next level because Crowder basically, in a conspiratorial sense, Crowder conspiracy the Daily Wire, right? He registered that site beforehand. Oh my God. I might actually turn into a Nazi. Maybe I'll believe like the Jewish fucking cabal running everything. Like Crowder was like, I'm going to take it to these Goldsteins. I'm going to go hard and I'm going to outmaneuver them. And then they were like, oh ho ho. Ah, oy vey, sneaky, sneaky. Holy shit. This would be like 27-dimensional chess if they actually came back like this. And it was all like a fucking... But then also, to be fair for all of that, Crowder's a fucking idiot to stir this much shit with a company if he'd already been fucking divorced. How wild is that? I think the person who released the info to the writer was herself and her lawyer in order to gain public sympathy. But what does she need public sympathy for? I don't understand that, you know? It's funny how Destiny has no problem pushing the sneaking conspiracy theories, but LOL, but it's just me when Sneaker does it. Conspiracies happen, my dude. You understand that they happen. You just need evidence for them. You have to like point to things that like make it like, oh, is it possible? Is it not possible? It's still possible, by the way, that there is no conspiracy here and that just happened to be. But like, there's a lot of weird, like this video is 2 years old. That webpage was really strangely written. I don't know why it had so much information about Steven fighting with the Daily Wire. Like everything is like lining up. And Steven Crowder had just, in the conspiratorial sense, tried to snake and fuck over the Daily Wire, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Damn. If his wife goes on Candace Owens' show, oof. Also a Crowder fucking Daily Wire conspiracy of them trying to fuck each other over. It's not on the same level as every medical, governmental, corporate, and academic institution in the world coming together for a fucking COVID-19 hoax. You brain dead fucking retard. What is the percentage that you think your conspiracy is real? Like 20, 30%? My percentage right now, based on everything I've seen, is, well, before that Candace Owen videos, I would say it's about like 16% is what I'd put it at. After this Candace Owens video, we're bumping it up to like 30%, I think, right? But if she goes on Candace Owens' show, I'm thinking like 80%. That would just be unbelievable. It would be like 90%. It would be unreal. That's not even content that the Daily Wire should have any part in. That's an unbelievable, like, or unless I've missed something, most of the Daily Wire shows and reporting, it's generally like pretty news-based, pretty fact-based, pretty punditry. They don't do like a lot of drama digging. It's Ben Shapiro's platform. To have Steven Crowder's divorced ex-wife go on to a show on the Daily Wire, that's just so bizarre. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. No chance Yasher is working with the Daily Wire. Come on. The thing is, he doesn't have to be working the Daily Wire, right? They could just say, like, let's leak this to, like, leftist media. This is starting to get a little bit more on the conspiratorial side. But, like, if somebody really wanted me, I think I've actually had people do this to me before. Let me see if I can think of an example where a conservative has come to me with stuff to leak about another conservative. I'm trying to remember who this happened. I had a lot of people. I had some surprisingly big names message me after my Milo Yiannopoulos debate. And I've had multiple smaller conservative people, like I'll say like Laura Loomer DM'd me and congratulated me on the Milo debate. She wasn't giving me dirt or anything yet, but like Laura, so that debate got out to a lot of people. I did have people messaging me to try to like leak dirt on Milo, and that's not Laura Loomer, but other people. But that would be an example of like, it's probably other conservatives that want to see Milo fall that would leak dirt to me, a lefty, knowing that I'd want to report on it, right? That's not like that. That's not that insane. Oh, I had conservatives send me information about Paul Joseph Watson. That N-word clip, the one that I tweeted first, but I gave it a bad title, and then it broke later in some other thing. That N-word audio clip was originally, well, I don't know if I'll say it was originally leaked to me, but I'm pretty sure it was leaked to me before that reporter that wrote the story on it by a conservative person that wanted, because they knew that I would like tweet it out and report on it. It wasn't Lauren. It was actually a lady that emailed me, but yeah. So yeah, it's yeah. He's being 100% contrarian because everyone is on the hate train for Crowder, so his videos on topic will top the algorithm on YouTube. It's deleted. Oh, I should just ban you. I don't know how to ban you. If you think I'm contrarian, you point out the flaw in my logic, you retarded fuck. Well, now you can't because now you're banned, so. This will bolster Crowder's platform. No, this is going to be pretty rough for... This is going to be pretty rough for Crowder. How was your stream today? It was okay. That documentary was kind of boring, though. I think we should have reacted to or watched, like, other things. I think would have been better. But it went okay. Farah is in a unique area in that she can have disagreements with me. Like, she gives good perspective on things that disagrees with me without being, like, a rabid hater. Like, she did on the Sneeko Britney convo. She did a little bit on this, although we're probably mostly aligned here. As annoying as the rape conversations are, she provides a good pushback for that. She doesn't have to fly completely left handle. I think Karantos can, too. He just needs to not be unhinged, and Zerka can't be involved. I think those are my two. Karantos and Farah, I think, are my two, like, foils right now that I can work with. I'm trying to think if anybody else is. Just say 3-minute clips looks bad, but we need more context. You have to say it looks bad over and over. Oh, sure. I mean, it does look bad. I've said that. It looks bad. Yeah. What happened to you in Counterpoints being a good foil? Counterpoints is fine, too. I don't know how much stuff he covers. We just don't talk as much. Isn't foil a really negative term? Aren't you basically saying they make you look good by comparison? Wait, is that what foil means? I thought a foil is just like an antagonist to stand opposite a protagonist. I didn't know a foil has to look bad. Like Batman has good foils. Like they're good villains. I mean, they make... Well, I mean, in a way, they do make you look better, but it doesn't make the other person look worse. I think having two people that stand contrary to each other, that can argue with each other, make each other look better. Myron from Fresh and Fit, is a good foil for me for Red Pill shit. I'm a good foil for him for Red Pill shit, too, right? Like, he gets to talk about more and dish out more and flesh out more his ideas when he's talking to me than anybody else. So we, like, work as a foil for each other, you know? Foil someone who is different to enhance the protagonist's own characteristics. Yeah. Okay, sure thing, Emmy. I'm coming, babe.